it is Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. So writing-wise, I feel like I've been dabbling in a lot of different things. As you all know, I have sent part 1 of my fantasy project away to alpha readers, so I've been working on polishing up the next parts and finishing my rewrites there so that they'll be ready to send out when the time comes. I've been working on some other exciting writing projects that are totally unrelated, and then there's been school stuff. I have a few different types of essay that are coming due this week, so I feel like I've been like dabbling in lots of different styles and types of writing and different worlds and projects, which has been kind of good. It's kept me on my toes. The alpha reading process, I feel like I'm a little too close to right now to get into that too much. I'm still kind of in the thick of it. That has been all kinds of exciting and a little bit like stressful, a little bit daunting, but mostly just exciting. And it's been helpful too to see the feedback that's coming in, seeing how people are reading the story and how like things that I thought were clear, like maybe aren't, things that I thought came through, maybe don't. That was like my biggest concern with this project. Like I had this story and it makes sense to me, but I'm not sure that everything will make sense to everyone else. So that will be the biggest help, I think, as I go into revisions, is knowing what things were clear, what things maybe weren't clear, which parts of that are just part of the natural learning curve of the story, and which ones I should just make clear right off the bat. I've been reading a few different fantasy projects right now and just sort of like thinking about this a bit. So right now I'm reading the second book in the Dune series. That one does have a pretty steep learning curve, but I'm also reading the second book in the Wheel of Time series right now, which I've been meaning to do for like 2 years. I think I read the first one 2 years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong because it was a long time ago, but from what I remember, the world building is huge and vast and like complex, but you're also kind of eased into it. You as the reader don't know anything, but neither do the main characters, so like as they get dispensed information as they need it, so do we. I remember it being like easier to get into it because you learn what you need to know as you need to know it, but maybe I'm totally wrong there. When it's a steeper learning curve, you have to have more faith in the writer because you just have to take things that you don't understand and roll with it and just trust that it's all going to get explained. Stormlight was also like that, a bit more of a steep learning curve compared to some of Brandon Sanderson's other stuff, where there were like names of places and things dropped in the first books that you don't find out like what they are until book 3 or 4, which is like wow, but also it feels so cool when you finally get to that point and it's like, oh, like now I know what that thing means, and you feel like so special because now you're in on the secrets and you've stuck it out. Ugh, I just love this genre. I love this genre. I just think it's so cool that authors can do that, pull you along with a strong enough foreground plot that you will just take all these things that you don't understand in stride and roll with it just because you're drawn in by that plot. Eventually things will fall into place. I just think that is such a cool method and technique for writing a story, and it's also very relevant to the actual plot and theme of my current project. I'm writing a personal essay for one of my courses right now on expository writing, and we had to pick a cultural product that we felt has impacted us in some way. So I'm actually talking about the fantasy genre, and more specifically like children or like young fantasy literature, not only as something that has like affected me or impacted me, but also as just a powerful tool that we can use to say powerful things. I feel like in scholarly context, sometimes fantasy gets like a bad rap. I don't know if this is true, but it's just kind of what I felt. Maybe it's not like literary enough, which is fair, like it's not super realistic. So in like scholarly or academic context, I'm not sure that it's taken super seriously compared to like the literary canon. Maybe fantasy's not designed to be like dissected and ripped apart and pieced back together in analysis. That's fine. It's really just a matter of preference, I think, and also mood. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for a good literary novel. They can be so good. Like I've had to read quite a few actually for school, and some of them have been really engaging, some of them not so much. I feel like the ones that I don't like are typically the ones that are trying so hard to be raw and real that they just go to this like morally gray place that leaves me with this yucky feeling I don't know what to do with. And that's probably why I always end up coming back to like my comfort stories, because I like me a good old-fashioned good versus evil dichotomy, y'all. I don't mind saying it. I like my Aslan versus White Witch, Jedi versus Sith, Hogwarts versus Death Eaters. I like to see good win and to know that good is going to win, but to be pulled along by that pivotal question, what is it going to cost? And that can be connected in so many ways to Jesus and the cosmic battle of good versus evil, where good is going to win and has already won, but at a monumental cost. That tension lies at the heart of the greatest story in the history of the universe, and I think it is gold when we find it echoing in other stories that are written today. And not always in like a purely allegorical sense. Like I don't think every single chosen one character needs to like directly represent Jesus. I just think that shape of story is so powerful. It sings at the heart of human existence. And for some reason, we just like to see it told again and again and again, which probably speaks to the inner need we have that can only be filled by Jesus and his story, but I digress. Let me just rein myself in. I could talk about this all day. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment below with maybe your favorite fantasy story, which I'm sure I've asked before, but I never get tired of hearing that. And as always, do not forget to spend some time in the clouds today.